Economic development is going from a B2B strategy to a B2C one. I know that sounds very boring. Stay with me. So, state and local governments spend something like $2.5 trillion in what is categorized as economic development. Basically, strategies to either shape, grow, attract, retain, build up any given industry or workforce type that they either want to have, already have, and want to retain. That can include things like workforce development. It can include things like business or talent attraction and retention strategies. And this idea of economic development, that policymakers or civic leaders with a mix of private and public funds can shape their economic makeup, comes out of the Second World War, where there was a massive international effort to rebuild Europe and Japan and other parts of the war-torn world that stood after the Second World War. And those international strategies infiltrated into domestic ones, and then that infiltrated into state and local strategy. By the mid to the late 20th century, there was a lot about getting a manufacturing company to build a new or move a manufacturing plant or a distribution facility, or as regionalism built up in national firms, the idea of trying to get any given corporation to move an HQ or to open a satellite office. And so that generation of economic development in the late 20th century was sensibly very B2B. It was Site Selection Magazine or particular trade conferences to try to get into the people who were making these very distinct, discrete decisions. Will this company move here? And it was all very rational based. It was about energy costs and resources and transit infrastructure, tax rates. It was very B2B. We were already going through a transition made a whole lot faster by the pandemic, in which economic development strategies now are about trying to, in addition to that work, because that's still important, also attract people. A B2C, a business to consumer strategy. You want those remote workers to come because now you're selling a workforce strategy. You want that entrepreneur to come in the hopes that she will grow it. You want all that human capital instead of physical capital. And that requires a very different marketing strategy. But the economic development trade was built around B2B. It was built around selling one business to another, not selling your services to people. That's why we're seeing tourism and hospitality across the country start integrating or at least align with traditional economic development strategies at the state and local levels. I run a news organization called Technically. I'm seeing it both in our reporting and also recognizing that's a place where we're supposed to play a role. Because all these economic development organizations are not built to talk to people. They're built to talk at particular industry conferences and particular industry events and particular industry buyers. So this is storytelling, not just about your tax rates and your energy costs, but also about who is there and why.